All right, guys, welcome back, man. Thanks for taking the time to spend a little time with me. I always appreciate that. And we're going to dive right into this video, man. But of course, before we do, I'm always going to remind you guys, if you like the video, like the video. And if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. But also, if you are subscribed, don't forget to turn on your notifications. Now, let's dive into this video, man. And first, I want to shout out, guys like Eric Rayweather, SGO. They know who they are. And, it's probably others, but, those are primarily the guys that I look at and, kind of leading the charge as far as the informational videos in terms of Madden. So huge shout outs to them because they're going to pretty much do that to a different degree. They're going to break it down. I don't really go so far into that part of it anymore. I always come from kind of a different standpoint because of the education that I've been able to acquire in terms of Madden and all of that. And you guys know the story. So I always try to take a different approach as far as how I view it. So what I pretty much want to talk about in this video is, like I say in the title there, man, I think Madden 22 is more than meets the eye. I definitely think that, and I will explain that to you. You guys have heard me say over the years, man, it got to a point when I started to get educated as far as how everything works at EA Tiburon and, who really calls the shots and who runs the show, et cetera, et cetera. And I told you that there's certain things that I needed to see happen before I would have faith or that I would believe that the culture is starting to change. And I use these particular videos in this video for a reason, showing all the franchise stuff. And then, of course, the next clip that you'll probably see, if I'm still talking, will be the whole dynamic game day and, the game play updates, yada, yada, yada. But the reason why I feel the way I do about it being more than meets the eye, if you look at all of this stuff and you think back to everything you've ever heard me say and others, but if I'm talking about myself, if you think about everything that you've heard me say in terms of feedback and things that I needed to see in the game, how many of those things can you check off the list that will be featured in Madden 22? Now, keep this in mind. In no way, shape, or form is this a finished product. And what I mean as far as the whole list is not complete, obviously. You guys know that. There's a ton more that we want to see done in a Madden game or any football game for that matter. But you have to start going towards those things. And that's really where I land with this, is I needed to see real changes, real things that I know that would have been approved by the suits, to allow the developers to start going in certain directions. And you're starting to see a lot of that, especially with the franchise stuff. And honestly, if we take a moment here, we got to give the franchise community, and let's just say all of the Madden community, a round of applause. Yeah, quick round of applause there, man. Fixed Madden Franchise apparently got to the right eyes. The right people saw it. And it looks like, the corporate structure at Tiburon knew they had to do something. And this could be very significant. We could look back at this situation with Fixed Madden Franchise and Madden 22, and one day we could be looking back and saying, wow, that was the one that actually changed it. It made the game start to go back into the direction that it needed to be in. And now look where we are. We could be saying that a few years from now, right? But like I said, when you look at everything that's being planned for Madden 22, and that's the caveat, planned. I'm not saying, again, it's not a finished product. I'm just talking about from a planned standpoint, from production meeting to what gets approved, to what the devs are allowed to work on, what they plan for the game. That's the only thing I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about how well it executes. We have to see that. I'm simply talking about the plan. What we're going to do for Madden 22. That's all I'm talking about, just from that standpoint. When I look at it like that, again, you can read the blogs yourself for the deep dives. But when you look at everything that they're doing in franchise and what they're trying to bring to the table here with dynamic game day and the momentum and the home field advantage and the improvements, in gameplay, which is all stuff that I've been talking about. Going away, or at least attempting the process of starting to go away from two-man interactions, which appears to be in the pass game, catching game is where they're really approaching that first. That right there, I'm telling you, this stuff is not, these are not casual things, folks. These are not casual aspects. These are things that guys like myself and a lot of you guys who will see this video that, consider yourself a simulation gamer and you want a realistic game, these type of things are for that. They're not for the casual. They're not for the arcade. These are more principles that represents football. Again, how well will it do that? We got to see. But what I'm saying is, this is more along the stuff that we've been asking for. Home field advantage, a sense of momentum in the game, the AI smarter, the game, gameplay as far as play calling and things of that nature, representing the real life team, the star-driven AI, the depth in franchise mode. Again, trying to go away from two-man animations. And what I mean by that is clearly they're starting somewhere. They haven't quite gotten there, but it definitely seems like, particularly in catching, and I'll probably do a separate video to address those things, but it's what I said. It's what I thought I felt from the beta. It just doesn't feel as restricted as it once was. And again, if you read the deep dive, they kind of go into detail to let you know what they're doing in that space. And again, I think this could be more than meets the eye. This could be the beginning of finally addressing core fundamentals and core foundations of the game and getting it to where it needs to be. Like I said, I'm just strictly talking about the planning. I have no idea how all of this will play out. There are things from the beta that we like. There's things from the beta that we may not like. There's things from the beta that still needs improvement. But I'm just talking about, in principle, what they have here and what they're attempting to do. I can't remember the last time a Madden game was introducing all of this content in one game. Again, the planning. I'm just talking about the planning. I don't know how it will be delivered. But even the stuff that they're talking about with physics, where, it's kind of a marriage between animation and physics. Okay, I see where they're going with that. And again, like I said, I got to see how that's going to play out in full. But I at least like the fact that they're attempting to incorporate more physics, more momentum, even if it's, animation and those things are working together. I like the direction because there's some positive things that can come from that. And like I said, it's all about laying that foundation and laying that groundwork. You get that laid into the game and then you can start, working off of that or building that up or what have you. Maybe that's the first step into leaning towards a more physical game. And I know they mentioned, and shout outs to Brian Mazik. I know he said he had an interview with Clint and Connor, and they kind of, mentioned that, what they would want to do as far as their idea would be more so, physics and animation. And like I said, I'll go further into that in a separate video. But I just wanted to make this quick video again, man, just to say, when I look at everything that they are offering in Madden 22, from the franchise side of things to the gameplay side of things, which it appears to be more flushing out, right? Not a whole lot of adding additional pieces, which I appreciate that. You got to make what you already have, you got to get that to work first, right? You got to get that to work first. The way they interact and AI and all of that, you got to flush that out first before you start adding more things. But when you consider all of that and the environment as far as home field advantage and the crowd, and because the crowd noise, you could definitely tell that the crowd, they did some work with the noise and the audio just playing the beta. Like I said, I don't remember the last time there was a Madden product that brought all of that in one cycle. And the funny thing about this, again, some people don't know this, but it should be common knowledge by now. This is a shortened cycle because of next gen releasing Madden 21. Madden 21. I almost said the wrong year there. But because of them releasing Madden 21 as late as December, it caused Madden 22 to have a shorter cycle. And this is what they were able to put on the table. And this is what I'm saying. I've been saying this for years. It's not about what they can't do. It's always about what they are allowed to do. Like, this to me should be proof. And that's why I say it's more than meets the eye. Because if you just put on your thinking cap a little bit, this is showing you the type of turnaround and type of things they could do in a cycle if they are given the keys. Now, where we, judge the developers and where the devs will be judged, of course, is how these things work once they're delivered. Because not everything hits, not everything executes the way you want it. Again, I was one of those people who, and I still talk about, past trajectories and ball placement and things of that nature, right? And what did we get one cycle? We got target passing. Great idea, but it didn't execute well. So it always comes down to execution. That's where you look at the devs and say, okay, how you delivered this, yada, yada, yada. You give them feedback in these areas, that area, et cetera, et cetera. But all I'm merely talking about in this video is the planning of what they have on the table to bring to Madden 22. For me, again, with the knowledge that I have from being down in that building and understanding the structure, this to me is more than meets the eye. There's a lot more going on in terms of the culture of how the game will be produced and developed going forward than what many of you may not recognize. And y'all know that's just how I do. I'm here to inform the best way I can because of the little knowledge that I've been able to gain over the years. All right, so I just want you guys to keep that in mind, and we'll see. We'll see what this game will be or won't be by the time it launches. But outside of that, that's all I got for you guys today, man. I hope you guys have a great 4th of July. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. And again, I will remind you, if you like the video, like the video. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe if you like the content. And as well, don't forget to cut on your notifications. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.